Have you ever wondered why some personalities are just more captivating than others? Today, we're talking about INFJ females, those rare mysterious souls who don't fit the typical flirty mold. You've probably crossed paths with one at some point, and maybe you noticed something different about her, something that draws you in without even trying. INFJs don't follow the standard playbook when it comes to attraction. They don't do small talk or play games. Their way of connecting, it's deeper, subtler, and totally unforgettable. And here's the kicker, it works. But here's the thing, most people don't get them. INFJ women are often overlooked in a world that's obsessed with surface-level interactions. While everyone else is throwing out cheesy lines and trying to impress, INFJs are out there connecting on a completely different level. But because their approach isn't flashy or obvious, they often get misunderstood. It's easy to miss the magic when you're not paying attention. So, how do they flirt? Let's break it down. 1. Quiet confidence. INFJ women don't need to make noise to be heard. Their presence speaks for itself. They walk into a room, and you can feel their energy without them saying a word. It's not about the clothes they wear, or the flashy gestures they make. It's something deeper. They carry a quiet strength that doesn't scream for attention. There's a calmness about them that says, I'm here, and I don't need to prove myself. And that's exactly what makes them stand out. It's rare in a world where everyone's trying to be louder, faster, and more visible. INFJ women know who they are, and they don't need to shout about it. It's not about showing off or putting on a front. They've reached a point in life where they are comfortable with themselves and their purpose. It's like they've done the internal work to reach a place of peace, and that peace is magnetic. People are drawn to it because they don't see it every day. It's an energy that doesn't demand attention, but it attracts it nonetheless. When an INFJ enters a room, they don't have to compete for the spotlight. It's like the room naturally gravitates toward them, not because they've done anything flashy, but because of the inner peace and certainty they carry. Their confidence isn't loud, it's steady. It's in the way they stand, the way they listen, the way they engage. They don't rush, don't stumble over their words, and don't feel the need to explain themselves. There's an unspoken understanding that they're comfortable in their own skin. This kind of quiet confidence isn't about being arrogant. It's not about walking around like you own the place or needing others to validate you. It's the kind of confidence that's earned from a place of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. INFJ women know their worth and they don't need to broadcast it. It's in the subtle way they interact with others. It's in their ability to make you feel seen and heard without needing to be the center of attention. That's what makes them stand out. Their strength is in their calm. They're not looking for approval. They're not trying to impress. They're simply being themselves. And there's something incredibly attractive about that. In a world where everyone is scrambling to make their mark, INFJ women don't chase after validation. They create it from within. Their self isn't dependent on external factors, and that's what makes them so magnetic. People want to be around them because they radiate authenticity and tranquility. They make others feel like they're enough just as they are. And let's be honest, that's a rare quality. Most people are so caught up in trying to be something they're not, trying to impress others, trying to fill some void of insecurity. But INFJ women, they've already done the work. They've learned that confidence doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within. It's the quiet understanding that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You're enough. That's the magic of INFJ women. They don't try to be noticed. They don't force themselves into the spotlight. But when they step into a room, their presence is felt. They pull people in without saying a word, and that quiet confidence is what makes them unforgettable. They don't need to scream for attention. They let their energy do all the talking. If you're enjoying this, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got a lot more coming your way. Let's move on to the next point. 2. Deep eye contact. When an INFJ looks at you, it's not just a glance, it's a gaze that cuts through the noise and says, I see you. It's not the casual, distracted look most people give when they're scanning a room or waiting for their turn to speak. It's a deep, meaningful connection that feels like they're seeing the real you, the part that's often hidden behind walls. They're not just looking at your face, they're looking into your soul. The intensity of their gaze isn't threatening, but it grabs your attention in a way that's hard to ignore. There's a calmness in it, but it's the kind of calm that makes you feel exposed, like they've stripped away all the superficial layers and can see right to the core of who you are. It's not something you get every day. Most people are distracted, thinking about what they're going to say next, or wondering if they look okay. But with an INFJ, it's different. They are present in the moment. They're giving you their full attention, and they expect the same in return. It's an exchange of energy. They don't just look at you as if you're one of many things in the room. They focus on you, and only you. And in that moment, you feel like you matter. That gaze isn't meant to intimidate. It's meant to connect. It's an invitation, not a challenge. It says, I'm here, and I'm listening. I'm paying attention to you, to your words, and to what's beneath them. And when they look at you like that, it makes you feel seen in a way that few people are able to do. It's not something you can fake or force. The INFJ's gaze comes from a place of deep empathy, a true understanding that most people miss. They're not just trying to figure out what you're thinking, they're trying to understand how you feel, what drives you, and what makes you tick. This makes their eye contact different from anyone else's. It's not surface-level curiosity. It's an emotional connection that goes beyond words. It's the kind of connection you can't ignore. And it makes you feel like you're understood in a way that feels rare and valuable. And the best part, it makes you want to be seen too. When someone looks at you like that, it's hard not to reciprocate. They make you want to open up, to show more of who you really are. Their deep eye contact invites vulnerability. It says, "I'm not judging you. I'm not trying to manipulate you. I'm just here to connect." This creates an unspoken bond, a sense of trust and mutual respect. You don't have to say much to communicate. Everything is conveyed through the look. That's the power of an INFJ's gaze. It's not about using eye contact as a tool to get something from you. It's about building an authentic connection. And when that happens, you can't help but feel something shift inside you. You start to realize that this person isn't like everyone else. There's someone who values depth over distraction, connection over small talk, and that kind of presence is incredibly rare. So when an INFJ locks eyes with you, know that it's not just a look. It's an invitation to be seen for who you truly are. It's a powerful, real connection that's impossible to fake, and it'll make you want to connect on a deeper level too if you're feeling this. Don't forget to drop a comment and tell me about your experiences with INFJs. Love to hear from you. Let's keep going. 3 meaningful conversations. Forget the small talk. INFJs don't have time for that. They're not interested in surface-level chatter about the weather, who's dating who, or the latest celebrity gossip. To them, those conversations are a waste of time. They don't need filler. INFJs want to know who you really are, and they'll ask the kind of questions that make you think, questions that get to the heart of who you are, what you care about, and what's driving you. When you talk to an INFJ, it's not like talking to just anyone. The way they engage with you feels different, almost like they're not just listening to your words, but also to the emotions behind them. They hear what you're saying, and they understand the parts of you that go unsaid. You won't feel like you're explaining yourself, but rather sharing a piece of your world with someone who is genuinely interested in it. They have a way of making you feel comfortable opening up, even if you usually keep your guard up. There's a certain warmth to the way they ask questions, not pushing but inviting. It's never about prying or trying to get personal for the sake of curiosity. It's about truly wanting to understand the layers of who you are, and when you talk to them, you feel heard. Not just in the way most people hear, but in a way that makes you feel like they're truly paying attention to every word, every pause, every slight change in your tone. It's a kind of attention that most people don't know how to give. And that's what makes an INFJ's conversation feel so special. They don't just listen, they absorb. They digest what you're saying and give back feedback that's thoughtful and meaningful. The result is a connection that's rare in today's world. It's not just about exchanging facts or opinions. It's about sharing moments, feelings, and parts of yourself that you don't often show others. In a world full of shallow interactions, having a conversation with an INFJ feels like a breath of fresh air. It's like stepping out of the noise and into a space where your thoughts and feelings matter. They aren't just there to fill the silence, they're there to connect. They're not looking for validation or approval from you. They're there because they're genuinely curious about what makes you tick, what inspires you, what frustrates you. And this kind of conversation is rare. In most social settings, people often talk to fill awkward pauses or out of social obligation. But with an INFJ, it's different. They're not talking to impress or entertain, they're talking to understand, to connect on a deeper level. This is why conversations with them leave you feeling seen, understood, and, dare I say, appreciated. You won't feel like just another person in the room. You'll feel like you matter. You'll feel like what you have to say is valuable. And when someone makes you feel that way, it's powerful. It shifts the way you see yourself, the way you see the world around you. It leaves an impression that stays with you long after the conversation ends. And that's what makes INFJ conversations so unique. They don't waste time with meaningless chatter. They get right to the heart of things. They make you feel heard, and that makes all the difference. For emotional depth, INFJ women are emotionally intelligent. They have this innate ability to understand emotions, not just their own, but others too. It's like they can sense how you're feeling before you even say a word. It's a kind of emotional radar that's sharp, intuitive, and almost effortless. They pick up on the smallest cues, whether it's a shift in your tone, a change in your body language, or even something in the way you look at them. It's as if they can read between the lines, noticing things others would miss entirely. This level of empathy isn't something everyone has, and it makes INFJs incredibly alluring. There's something magnetic about the way they connect to the emotions around them. They don't just listen to your words, they feel them. When you talk to an INFJ, it's as if they're absorbing everything you're putting out, the spoken words, the unspoken tension, the subtle hints of your mood. They understand when you're frustrated, even if you try to hide it. They can tell when you're sad, even if you're smiling. INFJ women don't need to be told what's going on with you. They can sense it in the way you carry yourself, in your energy, in the way you engage with the world. It's almost as if they have an emotional antenna that automatically picks up on your feelings. And this level of emotional awareness doesn't just make them great listeners, it makes them feel safe to be around. Because when they tune into your emotions, they don't judge you for them. They accept them without trying to fix or change them. That's rare. In most relationships, there's a pressure to act a certain way, to hide vulnerability, or to manage your emotions in a way that fits the situation. But with an INFJ, you don't have to do that. They accept your emotions as they are and they don't try to change them. That's part of the reason why people feel so comfortable with them. You can drop the act. You can be yourself, messy, complicated, real, and they won't look at you any differently. They won't shy away from your emotional complexity. In fact, they're drawn to it. This is part of the emotional depth they bring to relationships. They're not interested in shallow surface-level interactions. They want to know what's going on inside. They want to understand your emotional world, and they're willing to go deep to do it. It's not about pushing you to open up, it's about giving you the space to do so when you're ready. And when they do connect with you emotionally, it's profound. You won't feel like they're just getting it on a surface level. They'll make you feel like they truly understand what you're going through. That level of emotional depth is powerful. It creates trust, it creates connection, and it makes you feel like you matter. This rare emotional intelligence gives INFJ women a kind of charm that's hard to describe. They don't try to attract attention with flashy behavior or bold gestures. They do it with their empathy, their ability to read emotions, and their understanding that people are complex. They can tap into your emotional world with a depth that most people would never be able to reach. And that's incredibly magnetic. They're not just emotionally intelligent, they're emotionally in tune, and that makes them stand out in a way few others can. Remember to like if you're vibing with this, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the rest of this deep dive. Next point coming up. 5. Gentle but powerful compliments. INFJ. Females don't throw around compliments just to make you feel good. Unlike others who might dish out praise in a casual, almost transactional way, an INFJ female's compliments come from a place of sincerity and observation. When she gives you a compliment, you know it's not just fluff, it's real. She's not telling you that you look nice just to fill the space or to boost your ego. She's acknowledging something that stands out to her, something that she's genuinely noticed and appreciates. INFJ females have a way of seeing what others miss, and they recognize qualities that are deeper than what meets the eye. It's not just about your looks or your accomplishments, though they'll notice those too. But what really catches her attention is something more personal, something that speaks to who you are on a deeper level. Maybe it's the way you handle a difficult situation, the quiet strength you show when no one's looking, or the subtle kindness you show to others without expecting anything in return. When an INFJ female gives you a compliment, it's about that part of you, the part that doesn't always get the credit it deserves. It's her way of acknowledging your uniqueness, the qualities that make you who you are, not just what others can see on the surface. INFJ females are incredibly perceptive. They don't just look at the surface of things, they look deeper, trying to understand the essence of people. And because of this, their compliments have weight. When she tells you that you have a kind heart, it's not because she's trying to make you feel good, it's because she truly believes it. And when she tells you that she admires your resilience, it's because she's seen you go through tough times without losing your integrity. These aren't compliments you can brush off easily. They hit different because they're rooted in the truth of who you are. This type of compliment isn't just about making you feel good in the moment. It's about reminding you of your worth. INFJ females have a way of making you see yourself in a new light, a way that feels both humbling and empowering at the same time. Their words have a quiet power to them. It's not flashy or over the top, it's subtle, but it sticks with you. When she acknowledges something about you, you feel like she's seen you for who you truly are, not just the version that everyone else gets to see, and that's why it's different. INFJ females don't waste their words on meaningless praise. They don't use compliments as tools to get something from you. They use them to connect, to show appreciation for something real. When an INFJ female gives you a compliment, it's a gift, not a transaction. It's a moment of recognition, an understanding of something special about you that she values. You'll know it's not just about your looks or your achievements, because she's not giving compliments to win your favor. She's giving them because she genuinely sees something in you that deserves to be noticed. It's deep, it's meaningful, and it has the power to make you feel seen in a way that few other compliments ever could. 6. Subtle touches. INFJ females don't rely on big gestures to communicate affection. In a world full of grand displays and flashy moves, an INFJ female stands out because she doesn't need to make a spectacle to show how she feels. She understands that sometimes the smallest gestures carry the most weight. She's not about trying to impress with big dramatic actions or over-the-top displays of affection. Instead, she knows that subtlety can speak louder than anything else. Sometimes, it's a light touch on your arm, just enough to break the space between you without making it awkward. It's a hand on your shoulder when she's listening, showing that she's there, present in the moment with you. Or maybe it's a brief brush of her fingers against yours, nothing that demands attention, but just enough to send a clear signal that she's interested, that she's paying attention to you in a way that others may not. These gestures are never forceful. They don't try to grab your attention or make a statement. Instead, they're soft, gentle, and genuine. They speak volumes about her feelings without having to say a word. It's not the kind of touch that feels staged or calculated. It's the kind of affection that comes naturally, a reflection of her emotional presence in the moment. And because it's so subtle, it has a certain power to it. It's a reminder that she's aware of you, of your space, and of the connection that exists between you. For an INFJ female, this kind of touch is more than just physical contact. It's a way to create intimacy and show that she's emotionally available. She's not about playing games or using touch as a way to manipulate a situation. When she reaches out, it's because she feels something real. This makes her subtle touches all the more meaningful. When an INFJ female places a hand on your shoulder, it's like she's saying, "I'm here for you." When her fingers brush against yours, it's a silent acknowledgement that she's thinking of you, that she cares about you in a way that transcends words. And because these touches are understated, they often go unnoticed by those who aren't paying attention. But for the person who feels them, they carry immense weight. INFJ females understand that true affection doesn't need to be loud or showy. It doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops to be understood. Sometimes, the quietest gestures are the most powerful. It's the way she leans in just a little closer when you speak, the way her eyes soften when you talk about something important. It's those moments when you're not looking for affection, and yet she gives it to you in a way that feels natural, unforced. And in a world that often values noise over substance, these small, quiet acts of affection can be incredibly alluring. It's an intimacy that builds over time, not through grand gestures, but through consistent, subtle touches that create a deeper bond between you. When an INFJ female reaches out with these subtle touches, she's telling you that she's emotionally present, that she values your connection, and that she's interested in more than just a surface-level interaction. It's the kind of touch that says, "I see you, and I care about you," without ever having to say those words. And that makes all the difference. 7. Curiosity and interest. INFJ females will ask you questions, but it's not to fill the silence. It's because they genuinely want to know more about you. When she asks, she's not looking for small talk or just ways to pass the time. The question has a purpose. It's not about gathering information or ticking off some list of things to learn about you. It's about creating a connection. INFJ females don't see conversations as just a way to exchange facts or opinions. For them, it's an opportunity to dig deeper, to understand what makes you tick, what drives you, and what you truly care about. They're not interested in the surface-level stuff. They want to know the real youth stuff that's often left unsaid, the feelings and thoughts that don't get shared with everyone. And because of this, their questions don't feel like interrogations. They don't come at you with a barrage of questions aimed at checking off boxes. Instead, they ask in a way that makes you feel comfortable, like they're genuinely interested in your story. It's not an interrogation. It's an invitation to share, to open up, and to be heard. When an INFJ female asks about your life, your past, or your dreams, it's because she wants to connect with you on a deeper level. She's not asking out of obligation or to seem polite. She's asking because she values what you have to say, because she sees you as an individual, and because she's interested in who you are beyond the surface. This type of curiosity is rare. Most people ask questions just to keep the conversation going or to fill gaps. They might ask about your job, your hobbies, or your weekend plans, but it's often just to keep things moving. But when an INFJ female asks, it's different. Her curiosity comes from a place of respect for you as a person. She's not trying to pry into your private life or ask questions that make you uncomfortable. Instead, she's seeking to understand your values, your perspective, and what shapes your worldview. This approach makes you feel valued. It makes you feel like your thoughts and experiences matter, like someone is genuinely interested in what's inside your mind and heart. It's a breath of fresh air in a world where people often talk just to talk, without really listening. With an INFJ female, you don't have to worry about your words falling on deaf ears. She's listening with the intent to understand, not just to respond. The questions she asks aren't superficial, they're meaningful, and they make you think. She doesn't just want to know about your accomplishments or what you've done. She wants to know what you believe in, what motivates you, what excites you. And when she listens, it's with full attention. She's not distracted. She's not waiting for her turn to speak. She's completely present in the moment, absorbing everything you share. And because of that, when you talk to an INFJ female, it feels different. You don't feel like you're just another person in a conversation. You feel like your thoughts matter. You feel like she sees you for who you truly are. This is why INFJ females are so captivating. Their curiosity and interest are rare traits that make people feel truly seen, not just heard. It's not about getting information, it's about making a real connection. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's finish this strong. Guys. 8. Being present. INFJ females are not distracted or looking over your shoulder for someone else. When an INFJ female is with you, she's 100% there. There's no half attention, no mind wandering. She's fully present in the moment, focused entirely on you. This kind of presence is rare. In a world where everyone seems glued to their phones, constantly checking messages, notifications, or social media. Having someone genuinely invested in the moment with you is something special. It's refreshing, almost like a breath of fresh air in a world that's constantly pulling people in different directions. The fact that an INFJ female is fully with you in a conversation speaks volumes. She's not just going through the motions of listening or pretending to pay attention. She's actively engaged, hanging on every word, and taking everything in. It's not that she's trying to impress you or make you feel special. It's just that she understands the importance of real connection. And because she's so present, you can feel it. You can feel that when you talk to her, you're the most important person in her world at that moment. It's the kind of attention that makes you feel valued. It's not about the flashy gestures or dramatic moments. It's about the quiet certainty that, for that time, she's with you. She's not checking the time. She's not distracted by a buzzing phone. And she's certainly not mentally planning her next move. Instead, her focus is on you, and that creates a sense of intimacy that's hard to come by. INFJ females don't split their attention between you and the world around you. In a room full of noise and distractions, she tunes everything else out and gives you her full attention. This level of focus is incredibly rare, especially in today's fast-paced, overstimulated world. Most people can't manage to stay fully present for more than a few minutes before their minds start to wander. But when you're with an INFJ female, it feels different. It's like everything else fades away. It feels like you're the only person in the room, even if there are a dozen other people around. There's no sense that she's rushing the conversation or that she's thinking about something else while you're talking. She's not just physically there, she's emotionally invested, and that's something rare to experience. When someone is fully present with you, it creates a deep sense of trust. You know that when you speak, she's listening, and that she's absorbing what you say. There's no judgment, no distraction, no sense of impatience. She's not waiting for her turn to talk. She's genuinely taking in your words, thoughts, and emotions. This makes conversations with an INFJ female feel deeply authentic. You're not just filling the silence with empty words. You're connecting, and she's there to understand you on a deeper level. This kind of presence is valuable in a world that often prioritizes multitasking and constant connectivity. An INFJ female's ability to be fully present with you makes every interaction feel significant. It's not just about the conversation itself, it's about the way she makes you feel when she's with you. You feel like you matter, like your thoughts and feelings are important, and that's something you can't fake. It's a gift, and it's one of the reasons why an INFJ female's presence is so magnetic. She's not distracted. She's with you, and that makes all the difference. Let me tell you a quick story. I remember meeting an INFJ female at a party once. At first, she didn't do anything that screamed flirt at all. No loud jokes, no obvious body language. She wasn't trying to stand out, and she wasn't drawing attention to herself in the usual ways. She wasn't the life of the party, making everyone laugh or creating drama. Instead, she was just there, quietly observing, taking everything in, and when she spoke, it felt like it mattered. She didn't need to throw out flashy lines or play any games. What she did was real, and that's something that sticks with you. But when we started talking, it was like the rest of the room faded away. There was this sense that in that moment, nothing else existed except the conversation between us. It wasn't forced. It wasn't about filling the silence. It was the kind of dialogue that made you feel like you were in a place where you could actually open up. It wasn't surface-level stuff either. She asked me real questions, the kind of questions that made me think. It wasn't small talk or anything rehearsed. She genuinely wanted to know what made me tick. She wasn't just being polite. It was clear she was listening, and not just listening in a casual way, but listening as if my answers mattered. There was a certain depth to the way she was engaged, and it made everything feel more real. She looked at me like she actually cared about what I had to say, and that's not something you experience every day. In those moments, I didn't feel like I was talking to just another person at a party. I felt like I was talking to someone who truly wanted to understand me, and before I knew it, we were talking about things I don't usually talk about with anyone. Not because I was trying to impress her, but because the conversation had become so easy, so natural, and so real. It was like she created a space where I felt comfortable enough to open up in ways I wasn't expecting. By the end of the night, I felt like I knew her better than most people I've known for years. And that's the power of an INFJ connection. It's not forced, it's not rushed, and it doesn't follow any conventional rules. It's real, it's authentic, and it sticks. It's the kind of connection that stays with you long after the conversation ends. It's deeper than any typical interaction you've had, and it doesn't fade because it's based on something real. Something that goes beyond the usual small talk or surface-level flirtation. So here's the thing, INFJ females don't flirt like everyone else because they don't need to. They don't rely on tricks or superficial gestures to grab your attention. They connect with depth, authenticity, and an intensity that most people can't even comprehend. They're not in it for short-term validation or to win you over with flashy moves. What they offer is something more meaningful, a genuine connection that goes beyond the ordinary, and that's what makes them so captivating. It's the way they show up, fully present, without needing to prove anything. And it's the way they make you feel, like you matter, like your words, your emotions, your experiences, are worth hearing. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a moment with an INFJ that just felt different? Something deeper than you expected? Drop a comment below and share your story. And hey, if you're into personality types and want to learn more, check out my other videos. Trust me, you don't want to miss them. Catch you next time, and stay sharp.